You know what we never do?
When the
you do that for
moon
me?
hits your eyes like a big pizza pie, that's amore.
Just one is fine. All right. Now I can actually get it timed much quicker. Please.
Bells will ring, ting-a-ling-a-ling.
We have an audience.
Welcome to what episode is this? 62 of KT Confidential.
61. We just talked about
Damn
this.
it. Welcome to episode 61
61
of KT Confidential. We are your hosts, Ariel, Kormendy, Adrian
Trott.
And today, Steve did not want to be on our podcast. He's going to come on next week. We welcomed Steve Cicchetto to our team.
If you've been following us on Instagram, he is we were referring him
The secret
to him
guy.
as the secret guy. He's the latest addition.
Because some of the clients that get our stuff, like our Christmas card,
Right.
are wondering who's the unfestive guy in your Christmas card.
That's right. Did he know he was going to be in the photo that day?
I don't know.
Oh.
I would assume so because he was copied on that email.
I think he was dressed appropriately. I'm just thinking, well, he was wearing blue.
Right.
Nobody else was wearing blue.
Well, except for the two Jewish guys in the photo, but
That's true.
maybe he's secretly a Jew.
He could be. Just trying to fit in.
So we welcome him to the team. He did 4 or 5 transactions with us before even.
Yeah, we have
considering.
a history of hiring our clients, which is, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think these people recognize, good stuff when they see it and want to be a part of it. That says a lot about our team.
Yeah.
The only problem is
See how long they stick around.
the only problem is we don't have any repeat clients if we keep.
Well, I'm
going
happy
down
because
path.
this year for our annual valuations, I think I've got about 150 homes to valuate. And it would have been 151, except Steve, who is a client of mine that I usually do evaluation for every year.
Can now do his own.
He can now do his own. Yeah,
Although he'd probably ask you for your opinion
That's
anyway.
that's true.
See, I still did one for Jen, but I will not do one for Chris. He can do
Of
his
course.
own.
Yeah.
Maybe I should just to see where he comes out at and his number. As a realtor, I haven't sold my own primary residence yet,
Nor have I.
but that has got to be the hardest thing to do as a real estate agent, valuing your own home. So I'll probably have
Because you're
you guys-
biased? Well, I've heard, I don't remember where I heard it, but I heard somebody say once, it was like in an article of some sort, that real estate agents always sell their home for more money. Implying
I
that
don't know about that.
an agent is going to sell their own personal home for more money than their client would sell the same home. And they were saying it was because I don't know what it is, maybe because they're so used to the process that they don't have any fears of it. Because some people maybe have a hesitation to push the limits a little bit, or do you know what I mean?
Or it's a bunch of realtors taking shortcuts with their clients'
Yeah.
homes.
100%. That's a good point. It would be interesting to compare how they list
But you
their
know how
own
many
home.
times I've seen realtors list their own homes for sale and the photos are not very good?
Well, we had one recently. Always very cautious when I'm talking about specific events. But remember a street that we sold a house on recently, which isn't narrowing it down much. But there was a house that we sold
street.
There's
that
a
we
street
sold?
that we sold a house on recently where there was another house on that street for sale around the same time that was larger for sale by the owner. The owner was the realtor. Do you remember? You know what I'm talking about?
I do, because I actually had a look at that listing last night when I was doing some of my client valuations.
Okay, yeah.
And that came up in my...
They didn't do very well.
No, it sold for $40,000 less than our sale.
Yeah.
And our home was 200 square feet less.
More. I think that one's
300.
22 and just over 22, and ours is just
about
19 or 2.
1975, something like that.
Yeah. Okay. So just over 2.
Anyway, so we welcomed Steve. He's going to be a great addition to the team, fitting in quite nice. He's actually been in training with us for several months now.
I'm excited to get him on because I want to talk about the last X amount of months that he, or even a year, however long he's been working towards this big transition from his big job. He was doing very well in his previous career, and how he transitioned and got into real estate. Because I think there's a lot of people that want to know how to prepare for that.
Yeah. He had a very nice job, well-paying job in a big pharmaceutical company as a director of sales and marketing, and decided he just liked us so much that he wanted to work for us and with us.
And here he is.
So
what are we talking
next
about today?
episode, he will be on to give the scoop on what it's like to be...
He's been prepped. He's been given 1 week's notice.
Yeah, he's been a little under the weather, so he wasn't up to it today. But all right, so some news, real estate news, some new news that there's been some chatter about it. Some realtors have posted some stuff about it. Some newspapers and websites have been blogging and writing about it, as the new changes to the RRSP withdrawal plans that's available to home buyers.
When did that go into effect? September? Something like that.
No, January. This is new. I don't even know if you can actually.
Well, the increased amount was September.
Yes.
So this wasn't at the same time.
What I'm talking about is the new news.
I know what you're talking about, but the new news was announced at the same time as the previous old news.
It was not. It was just recently.
It was in the original budget.
Maybe they touched on the forecasting of it, but anyways, the new news, which is just launched.
This is big news. I think this is something that we have to deal with these situations on a regular basis. Do you want to say what the news is?
You were on a roll there, so just keep going.
So the new news,
I've been trying to say it for the last
is that everyone knows about the home buyers plan, where you can, maybe not everyone, most people, if not, you should, that a new first-time home buyer can pull funds from their RRSP interest-free for 15 years towards the purchase down payment of a house. And now, if you are going through a marital breakdown,
separation or divorce,
whether you are legally married or common law, doesn't matter, you now qualify again as a first-time home buyer, in the sense,
even if you're not a first-time home buyer.
Even if you're not a first-time home buyer, in the sense that you can use
qualifies once you're actually not living together and you have a period of 4 years to use this plan.
Right. So was it 30-something thousand?
And let's not forget, there's no mention of it, but I'm assuming the same rule of thumb applies, that the money will have to be in there for a certain amount of time. So.
Right. But at that point in your life, it probably has been more likely than the latter.
Well, hang on.
Actual first-time home buyer.
You know, if I'm going through a separation and now I am living somewhere else, I might just go to the Holiday Inn and let all of the proceeds from this separation fund into my checking account, and then take the money from the checking account and throw it into some
right. But you're
RRSPs,
still limited to,
if I don't have the RRSPs.
If you don't have the RRSPs in there already,
or if I don't, you see what a lot of people miss on the RRSPs, because I'm big on not investing in RRSPs.
Me too.
The only ones I do are self-directed, and my self-directed RRSPs are all in stocks. And they've done well for me, actually, because my self-directed RRSPs are Facebook stocks, which I bought a long time ago. They're doing super well. I don't want to cash out those stocks. I don't want to sell them. I want to leave them in there. So I would take an extra 35 grand from the proceeds of whatever that separation is and throw it into the checking account. But I'm assuming it'll have to stay in there for a certain period of time before you can actually take them out.
Yeah.
But 35 grand.
So yeah, if you're going through a separation, marital breakdown, whatever, you can now pull funds from your RRSP and use it as a down payment, tax and interest free, to buy a house, which is a crucial time, because there are so many financial hardships when you're going through separation or divorce, that, like, I think that's such a smart idea.
Now, I wonder if lenders, financial institutions,
No, they don't.
will piggyback on. No, they don't what?
Sometimes I like to think I know what you're going to say. But continue.
What were you going to say? No, they don't what?
I was going to say that I thought you were going to say, or you were going to ask, if financial institutions would take into account when it comes to your total debt service ratio that you now have a payment for that RRSP withdrawal.
I have no idea what the fuck you just said. But anyways, my thought process here is, will the financial institutions piggyback on this plan to provide better rates or more attractive options for that? If I was a financial institution lending out money, I would take an opportunity here to try and capture this newly divorced or newly separated individual by offering something.
Yeah.
RBC, they have a $500 cash back to first-time home buyers using that plan.
I can't imagine anyone would. I think it would be a great idea. An extremely effective marketing ploy.
Well, and if you think about it, if husband and wife or the couple, shouldn't say husband and wife, can be husband and husband, wife and wife, I don't know, whatever. Him and her, their, them.
That's right.
If that couple decides to split, they usually have funds together in one financial institution.
We should give a microphone
capacity.
to Jen so that she can just chime in at some point.
So, and let's say you and I, as partners, have joint accounts.
Wait a
in
minute.
RBC.
Partners like business partners, or partners as in partners?
What was that?
That was the universal sign.
Oh my God. We are going to hell. I hope nobody actually watches the video. I've got a bunch of people in my.
I'm trying to understand what you're saying.
You're gonna have some LGBT hate right there.
You forgot the cue.
He's going rosy. Does that mean he's embarrassed?
No. I turned up the yellow on the lights today, so we naturally have a nicer glow.
Yeah. I also exfoliated this morning.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
So continue.
Well,
So in this story, you and I are a couple. Is that what you're saying? You're saying we're partners.
Okay, so Jen and I are a couple.
Okay.
Does that make you feel more comfortable?
No, I'm just trying to understand the story. I didn't know where you were going with it.
A couple usually has accounts together somewhere.
Yes.
If that couple splits,
Right.
the chances of them keeping those accounts are nil.
Right.
So now these people are free agents, essentially,
Right.
to open new accounts in other areas because
Right.
maybe they don't want to bank in the same place anymore, or maybe they don't keep this financial institution as their primary source of holding their funds. Regardless, if a lender was to say, oh, you're using your RRSP first-time home buyer separation, whatever plan, because you were separated, we have a special plan for you.
Right, to help you get started.
Yes.
I think it's a great idea.
I think so too.
It would be very smart.
So anyways, that's
I can't see banks doing it. I don't know why.
maybe not banks, maybe places like
maybe
Tangerine is doing real well.
I was going to say Tangerine or Duca or
So here, tag Tangerine and all those third-party lenders and whatever. There's an idea for you. Get on that because shitload of people are getting divorced this year. I can guarantee you that.
It's, what I find with that is crazy. And people say, people look at Instagram and they see how happy people are, like lovey-dovey and, see all that shit all the time. And I don't usually post stuff like that. And
what the fuck are you talking about? Your story the other day. I'm such a lucky man.
Wow, once in like a year. Like I hardly ever do that
He's
stuff.
only a lucky man once a year.
No, I'm lucky all the time.
Is that why you came in excited today?
It very well may be. But
Did you finish that bottle of Amarone?
I did it yesterday. I split a bottle over 2 days.
Did you hear this story?
Well, let's finish the first story. So couples are always posting all these things, and it just sickens me. And I think it's so fake. 90% of the time.
Instagram is fake.
Then those people get divorced.
Have you ever
so
seen...
what I'm saying though is if you're in a relationship and you see these other people posting shit like that, it's a friend. Don't think like it's kind of like expecting a relationship to be the same as a movie relationship.
Bro, my
behind the scenes, behind closed doors,
people would watch.
Things are not what they seem. And we know this because we help so many people get divorced, or not help so many people get divorced. we are in the business. We instigate so many separations, and it's really good for business because people sell a house and buy two.
Oh man, we have been approached by many people in the last couple of years that are going through separations and divorces, or even we are oftentimes the first call.
Yeah. What do I do with the house? Because it's their biggest asset.
We are oftentimes the first call before their family, friends even get whiff of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
I had that happen to me several times in the last 2-3 months where I get a call and it's like, hey, Ariel, can we chat? Sure. What's up? Well, here's what's happening. I'm like, wow. But don't tell anybody. Nobody knows yet. Okay. Put a little weight on my shoulders now. And I don't know oftentimes how to react or what to say. So you just kind of listen and, be polite about everything, I suppose. But because literally we become their psychiatrist a little bit, right? And their confidant that, I'm opening.
I don't usually offer advice, but I'm a sounding board.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, advice from the real estate
perspective.
Really
but it's, for sure. And I can understand why we're one of the first calls because they've got the retirement tied up in their house.
Biggest investment.
And they want to make sure that they make right decisions. So,
and it's usually from the person that feels like they might get screwed in the situation of the separation. So they want to make sure that they got their
it's usually the woman that calls me. And the woman's never the one that gets screwed. Wow. Seldom.
I don't know the legal components of every separation or divorce are a little bit different, but not a good thing to go through. So unfortunately, we're seeing it more and more often, and it's hard to actually transact the sale of a home when you're.
It can be if it's not amicable. It's a pain in the ass.
Even if it is, because these are two people that don't want to live together, and now you're trying to get them on the same page for agreeing on price.
Agreeing on who to hire, even
agreeing who to hire. Yes, oftentimes one person wants to hire somebody, the other person wants to hire somebody
just
else.
Out of spite. No, can't hire him because that's your friend, right?
Right.
You can get that all the time.
Maybe. Yeah. And then showings, if one person doesn't want to leave the house, got that a lot. And, don't want to paint and all of a sudden you don't want to do things to the home because
they don't want to be going through what they're going through. So why would they accommodate it?
Right.
Which in the end though hurts them.
Yes. Financially it hurts them.
Yeah.
So if there's ever a time for you to buckle down and just partner up for one last time.
Unless the person that's making it difficult just doesn't care. And they want to say, screw you to the other partner, and they want to fuck them over.
So the hypothetical, one partner cheats on the other.
Right.
That other partner now is sitting on the couch eating potato chips and in pajamas when a showing arrives.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Rubbing the cat's belly.
Right.
Yeah. I've seen it.
Yeah.
What's so funny? The belly rub of the cat. I want to talk a little bit about Parcels of Tideland.
Okay.
A lot of people don't know what it is. Parcel of Tideland. land. The reason I'm bringing this up, in the town of Milton, Mattamy Homes is the biggest builder. They have still a lot of land to build on. You go on to their latest releases over the last year, all of their 2-story and 3-story townhomes now have road maintenance fees.
They're condos.
Yes and no. And that's what confuses people.
Oh, yes and yes. It's a condo. It's managed by a common
it's a
element.
freehold home.
I understand that, but that's not what I'm saying.
So let's just not confuse people and fuck off on jumping in on my topic and interrupting.
You
this
do it
part
to me
of
all the time.
portion. It's a parcel of Tideland. The home is a freehold home. You own the home and the land.
The land that the home is on.
Correct. The roadway is a parcel that's owned within a condo corporation.
It could be, well, not necessarily, but generally speaking, it could be a golf course.
It could be
or
several
whatever.
things. Yeah,
it could be, but typically that's the arrangement.
Yes, currently in Milton with the Mattamy Homes, that's the arrangement.
Well, you're seeing a lot of it in many areas now because they're encouraging high density, and that's how you squeeze more houses on land.
So if you notice in these areas, so first of all, you're paying the road maintenance fees $70, $80, $90 a month. It's going to nothing other than maintaining your road. Oftentimes it's garbage collection.
So there's landscaping.
Maybe, although they're usually not that low if there's landscaping included. There's no street parking, right? So you can't
Rarely.
park.
Sometimes you have visitor spots. I hate that.
Oh my God. And going into these areas, there are maybe 5 visitor spots for every block.
And of course, homeowners are using them.
Sure they are. Maybe not all throughout the night because they don't want to get ticketed or towed.
Right.
But they're parking there. They're pushing their limits, right? They're leaving the car out there to the last minute and putting it there first thing in the morning, whatever. So, and then you can't park on the road because the roads are now narrower and there's no parking signs anywhere. So if you're buying a home in one of these little cul-de-sacs, be aware.
Yeah.
So that $100 a month in the road maintenance fee really equates to about $43,000 on your mortgage. And, or not quite. How much would that be? Sorry.
Let's put 40 grand.
No, $100 a month would be.
$100 a month would be 80.
Like 23 grand or so. So, an extra 20 grand, let's say on your mortgage on the high end or on the low end.
Sorry, I was getting my numbers all. It's early. Yes.
Yeah, for every 100,000 right now, it's about $440 a month. So, so for that extra $20,000 on your mortgage, could you have bought the same home, totally freehold in another area? Anyways, when you're buying one of these homes, because a condo corporation is involved, you need to have a status certificate in order to make sure that, number one, those fees have been paid by the current owner, that they're not in default. 2, that there are no litigations against the condo corporation, especially.
So give an example of that, because I've had that before. So this was not in a podle, but it was in a condominium high rise, but it could apply to anything. Somebody slipped on the grounds at the condo, hurt themselves, sued the condominium corporation. So that could happen.
Absolutely, it could. 100% it could. And it doesn't matter the age of that corporation or the age of the home or whatever, even if it's brand new building.
Right.
You could have litigations from the contractors.
From the development.
So you need to look into that no matter how confident you are. And the reason I bring that up is because a lot of deals that I've seen with those road maintenance fees, first of all, the contract is a whole different contract. It's not a condominium contract. It's not a typical agreement of purchase and sale. It actually says PODL.
And more often than not, actually, that's not necessarily true, but quite often, I would say, we get offers on standard purchase agreement forms.
Yeah, many times we're selling one of these properties, even when we list it in the brokerage remarks that it needs to be on the PODL contract, on the Parcel of Tideland contract, we still get the contracts that are for condominiums or freehold homes.
Another thing to keep in mind is there will be bylaws in most cases, right?
Yep.
Saying what you may or may not do.
It talks about parking, garbage.
It could even be, because a lot of those neighborhoods have very uniform looking houses. So some of the bylaws may be you're not allowed to paint your garage door, your front door a certain color. You're not allowed to have satellite dishes on the house.
You know where that's really applicable is in some of the retirement communities.
Yeah. I imagine
the 55 plus, the 65 plus areas.
You know the houses up on Pringle?
Yep.
I imagine that would apply there too, because it's all uniform.
They're all that stucco kind of look, same color, all that. Yeah,
so
it's a good point.
There are actually, as an aside, there are freehold townhouses in Milton. I can't remember which builder it was, but they had on title rules of things you could or could not do to the house for like 15 years because they wanted to keep the neighborhood looking nice.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, that's what I had to say.
So if you're buying one of these homes, first of all, make sure that you get an opportunity to review the status certificate and the condo bylaws. Your lawyer can do that. A good realtor will be able to look at it and give you an indication, but you're going to hire a lawyer anyway. Let them have a quick look at it. There are clauses that allow you usually a few days to get that done. The last thing I had on my agenda, and we've only got a few more minutes here, but the New York Times posted an article yesterday, or a couple of days ago anyway.
Yeah.
The top words and phrases in real estate listings.
Oh, I am such a big fan of this conversation because I like making fun of this sort of thing.
So, and I know you do, and that's why I put it on my list today. It's interesting to see because they broke it down now in New York. They have a really widespread valuation on properties throughout the state because they have an under 250 list and it goes all the way up to 5 million or more, which, you know, if you have a Manhattan property, I'm sure you're in the higher echelon. And then if you're, I don't know what areas would be under 250, but Buffalo. I love Buffalo. I don't know. Just valuation on properties.
Yeah, no, I get it. Nothing against.
So granite countertops, hardwood floors, open floor plan, stainless steel appliances.
These aren't the kind of words that I'm looking for, though.
No, it gets better. So, I don't know what you're thinking.
I'm thinking descriptive words.
Broadloom and
no, like descriptive stuff. Where people exaggerate, like gleaming and soaring.
Yeah, we've talked about that stuff.
I know,
but this is why I brought it up, because to me, these are all standard things. But you know, we got to think about this. This is something that I've been thinking about because I write the descriptions for most of our listings, and I'm trying to get more creative with it. But even my creativity brings me back to, you know, what's always been done.
Right.
And what made me think about that is stainless steel appliances.
Right.
Doesn't every house...
SS.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. SS appliances.
SS fridge. SS range.
Right. Yeah. Gotta love that.
Yeah.
Or OTR microwave.
Yeah. SS OTR microwave.
Right.
Yeah.
For those of you that need the breakdown, over the range.
That's right.
Microwave. So stainless steel appliances. Doesn't every house have stainless steel appliances nowadays?
Not necessarily, but I get what you're saying.
Really? Like how
there are a lot of
100 homes.
I'm
many
saying
of them
not every, but a lot of them. Yes,
well,
I'm not disagreeing with you.
Would it make more sense then to say black appliances and white appliances if it didn't have stainless steel?
No, what they should be doing, and this is what I don't understand with anything, is like instead of saying stainless steel appliances, say Frigidaire Professional French door, bottom freezer with ice and water dispenser. Like, be specific and build value in the features that come with it. Because
here's the thing. I think unless you, in this market where the average selling price in, well, let's just say Milton it's over $700,000. Unless your home has a $10,000 Sub-Zero fridge, why are you even talking about the appliances? Like, are the appliances the selling feature of your home?
I think no.
Hang on. Let's just talk about this for a second, because I spent a ton of money on my appliances at that time. But now, as used appliances, 9 years old, what are they worth?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Nothing.
No, perceived value. You could make it the perceived value. I just broke my pen. I must be getting angry.
Thank God. We still need to get him a scooch ball.
I think deep down you disagree with what you just said, because everything we do, and including in-home marketing.
Yeah. Okay. Here's my point.
From a sales perspective,
you only have. I don't know how many words exactly are the capacity on realtor.ca.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I want to say 300 to 400. Might be
depends on the board,
more.
Doesn't it?
It depends on which board is feeding to it. So we feed our listings from the Ontario regional system, which is through Milton Real Estate Board, and they allow for the most amount of words,
right?
As far as we know.
I do agree with you with respect to that.
So there's 500 words that you have to describe in the MLS listing this property.
So under most circumstances, that particular descriptive section of opportunity, you don't need to talk about the appliances, unless, like you said, you've got really high-end
open
stuff.
Floor plan right across the board in any price point is one of the top words used or top phrases
for
used.
Sure. Almost every house built after 2000 and 2000 maybe.
So my question is, does that need to be in the description?
No.
Aren't you going to
how about
tell that from great photos or great video?
Or spend them. I was looking at a $1.8 million house yesterday online. No floor plan. Include a floor plan so people can see what it looks like.
Perfect location. Again, granite countertops.
But the funny thing is perfect location.
Hardwood floors.
Perfect location is it usually isn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're trying to make the location sound better.
You say things to try to, you're maybe convincing yourself.
I think people that know the location, and people that don't know the location, you saying perfect location isn't going to sway them.
No.
Wine cellar. Ooh, 5 million or more. Wine cellar is one of the top words used.
It's such a silly article. Like, these are these are most common features found in homes. These aren't words. This is weird the way they did it.
This is the most that comes up in the descriptions of their MLS listings.
No, I get it. They probably had some computer software go through it instead of somebody looking at it.
Maybe. Chef's kitchen, one of your favorites?
That I hate. Because a chef's kitchen is stainless steel surfaces everywhere and high-end gas burners, and, like, most houses don't have anything near what I would consider a chef's kitchen.
Well, hang on a second. We were talking about the master class because you registered with Gordon Ramsay's master class.
Yes.
You haven't watched any yet.
No.
But he shoots it in his own home.
Right.
He doesn't have stainless steel.
No. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but I mean, a kitchen that really inspires a chef to cook is a really nice kitchen.
Not necessarily.
No, but
chefs work out of shitty little kitchens.
Well, then, so what point does a kitchen warrant being called, or not warrant? When does it deserve that title?
Builders, new home builders.
Yes.
They they give it that designation once there's an island.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
The island is your prep table, I guess. But
There should be some
what is a chef's kitchen?
There should be some standard use of words. If it doesn't have XX,
there's the YouTube title of this episode right there. What is a chef's kitchen?
Yeah.
If you can let us know, leave a comment below. Thanks for listening.
Wait, hang on.
61.
You're a chef. You like to cook. What would
I'm
you?
not a chef.
Okay, but you are an avid home chef, and you've been in the industry in previous years. So, what would you consider it to be?
I consider my kitchen at home a chef's kitchen to some capacity. I have a 5-burner Viking range with a Bertazzoni custom range hood. I have built-in Electrolux oven.
Nice stuff.
Nice stuff.
Yeah.
Quartz countertops with a big island.
And lots of counter space. Do you have lots of counter space?
That's really debatable. That's debatable because we have the pantry and the built-ins. So that cut a lot of that back wall there. I don't have enough for me.
No.
And then if Natalie and I are cooking and if the boys are in the kitchen, there's certainly not enough.
Right.
And now we keep like a fruit bowl on the countertop.
I think a chef's kitchen would require a large prep area.
In my ideal world, a chef's kitchen is a really big fridge. I mean, like
a walk-in. Have you ever seen a house with a walk-in?
I have, but let's be realistic.
Most families don't need it.
But a commercial size fridge where, I want to say no less than a 6-foot fridge.
Right.
Double ovens, maybe even double sinks. So you have a prep sink and a dish sink.
Mm-hmm.
A griddle and a grill on your range. Stovetop.
We didn't have a built-in deep fryer. You had that somewhere. Where was that? Oh, the cottage you rented. Yeah. Is that right?
Yeah. The deep fryer was actually in the covered patio.
Oh, right.
And that was, so there was a, like a hibachi.
That's cool.
You could do teriyaki and whatever out on the porch or on the back patio overlooking the lake. There was a wood burning pizza oven, double deep fryers. Oh, now that is a chef's kitchen. Gotta go. Episode 62.
61.
Fuck. Comment. Any comments? What is a chef's kitchen? Let us know. I don't know. Are you following us? iTunes, SoundCloud?
Goodbye.